All right. All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Leva, like Flava without the F, and I'm a senior manager here at Radical Partners for Leadership Innovation. And I am so excited to be with you all this Friday morning. Thank you all so much for spending time on a Friday of all days to really sit down and learn more about Leadership Lab on our very first informational session for this cohort of Neighborhood Heroes. Beside me is Luisana Zambrano. Luisana, give everybody a wave. And we're pretty much going to shepherd you throughout this whole entire process from application to being throughout the program. So these are the two faces you want to make sure you know. So let's go ahead and get started. Here's what we're going to cover over the next 40 minutes. So the first thing is we're going to do a little bit of introduction of us, of who Radical Partners is and who the leadership development team actually is. Then we're going to go into some details about the program and give you more nitty-gritty stuff. We'll get into dates, we'll get into what we're looking for and what you're actually going to get. After that, we're going to talk about who we're actually looking for, because this is the first time we've actually stated we're looking for BIPOC folks. And then afterwards, we'll talk about application logistics, right? What does it take in order to apply, and what are all the tools you have at your disposal to have an excellent application? And then finally, we'll stop the recording and we'll have an intimate question and answer session. And that's what we'll be doing. So Luisana, take it away.
Okay, thank you, Leva. So good morning, everybody. To get us started, I'm going to share a little bit about Radical Partners. So we are a social impact accelerator. We invest in leaders, mobilize locals, grow ventures, and co-design innovative solutions to collectively make our communities stronger. So we work with grassroots leaders. We uplift the power of leaders making a change within their communities, giving them structure, strength, and connections to increase their impact. We work with nonprofit leaders. So we support nonprofit leaders by giving them the resources they need to grow their impact. We build things together. We connect them with philanthropists and government officials so they can help. And we also work with businesses. So we're strategic partners to leaders, businesses, and corporations who seek to make lasting change. And we do all of this throughout our different programs, such as the Leadership Lab, the Strategic Planning Summit, 10 Days of Connection, and some consulting projects that we have with different organizations.
That is the most concise version of what Radical Partners is I have ever heard. I don't even think I could do it that good. So Luisana, hats off. That was dope. Tell us about the leadership development team.
So let me share a little bit more about us, people behind running this program. So we have Ale Mahmoud. She is our Director of Leadership Development. She oversees the Leadership Lab and the Strategic Planning Summit. We also have Leva here with us. She's our Senior Manager in Leadership Innovation. Leva is in charge of curating and creating all the content that you are going to be receiving during the programs that we have. And there's me, Luisana. I am the program associate and the person supporting Alia and Leva on the development of and logistics of the program. So I'm like behind the scenes on everything that's happening.
In other words, y'all, no one would be in this room if it wasn't for Luisana. She is literally the backbone of the whole entire project. She's the one who keeps me sane and ensures that Leadership Lab will be the badass program that it will be. So it's all up to her and thanks to her. So without further ado, let's get into the program and let's talk about what you will get. Leadership Lab is a program we've had here at Radical Partners for about 3 cohorts now. This 4th cohort, however, is the first time we've ever said we want to specifically focus on Black and Indigenous people of color who are fighting for racial equity and social justice in the communities that need it most, AKA our communities. And in order to do that, what we're making sure the program is doing is giving everyone the tools necessary in order to strengthen their impact, deepen their impact, and truly put us all on the path for transformational change. And here's how we plan on doing that. The first thing is program development to help you strategize your hustle. This is literally a streamline of work where we're going to teach and help you all develop things such as fundraising, time management as an executive director or as a leader of an initiative, talking about how do you set a theory of change? What's your mission? What's your vision? And how does that look like on the day to day? How do you go from big to little, small and tall, all in order to move your organization forward? And that's the professional development. The big one that I've been telling folks is that it's pretty much code switching, right? Like, how do you express what you're doing for our communities in a way that's easily understandable to funders, to philanthropy, to government sector in order to get you moving? The next one is personal development, to invest in yourself. If there's something that everyone on this call knows, it's that people in our community, we give, and we hardly ever take care of ourselves. Some of us are burnt out. Some of us are exhausted because no one else is giving to our communities what we give to our communities every single day. But in return, what happens is you are filling other people's cup with a very empty cup yourself. So what we will be doing is we will be having a professional development line that is specifically for you to talk about wellness and mental health and how you as a leader can always take care of yourself and fill your cup first as you continue to replenish the cup of others throughout your community, which is very, very needed. Next up is systems level mindset to understand your role in the ecosystem. Something that we're doing that's very different in this iteration of Leadership Lab is having the understanding that we are all in this together. Something that we have seen throughout the ecosystem has been that folks really don't communicate with one another. And there's this level of competitiveness that exists amongst community initiatives and nonprofits that we really want to see just go away. Because at the end of the day, the one thing we all have in common on this call and anyone who's watching this video is that we all want a better place and a better world for future generations of our communities. And therefore, we should be working together in order to really move that mission forward. So in this one, what we want to do is to make sure that the 10 to 15 folks who are a part of this program see themselves as partners in crime or partners in good, really, in order to truly, truly move our region forward. So thinking about how your backpack drive can really fuel the food drive that's happening 2 communities over and can really fuel the workout program that may be happening 2 blocks over from you, and how all of us together can work to make a better world. Then next up, this is also new, is access to decision makers to open pathways for opportunity. Throughout the program, there will be many times where we want to bring in alumni in so you can meet them and talk to them. We're going to have speakers, and really all the facilitators for all of the sessions you just heard me describe, we're really striving for them to be mostly Black, Indigenous, and people of color themselves who are doing this type of work at a grander scale. With that, we also want to have a dinner at the very end where you will all get access to meet folks in the government sector, in the for-profit sector, in the private, nonprofit, local government sector, to really start to plug you in order for you to start creating a network of decision makers for yourself in order to move your organization forward as well. Then next up is nailing your pitch to tell your story. Honestly, at the end of this whole entire ordeal, our goal is for you to have a pitch for your organization, who you are, what you're doing, and how people can get involved in order to help you process grow. So our whole goal is by the end of this, you will have a nice, solid pitch that you can give to a funder, you can give to a community member, or even someone on your family who just doesn't understand what it is that you're doing, and make it seem streamlined and working thoroughly. And last but not least, the best thing that I think you get is you get access to our RP alumnihood. That's over 120 badass leaders throughout the ecosystem. You get access to our ongoing coaching. You get access to us at any point in time throughout your journey, because our goal, my job is to literally make sure that you do your job as best as possible to make this city a better place. So I've been talking for some time. So Lou, can you talk to us about the program, please?
Yes, so we're going to be together for approximately 5 months, starting on August 28th, where we're going to have our kickoff for the program. Then labs 1, 3, and 5 are going to be happening at CIC Miami, and then labs 2, 4, and 6 are going to be happening and in the neighborhoods that the cohort represents. So based on the people that get selected into the cohort, we're gonna be having the program on those neighborhoods. And then in terms of additional programming, we're gonna have dinner with decision makers. So this is a little celebration also that you completed the program and also getting connected with the local leaders. And then we're gonna be celebrating your graduation on January 29th, you know, celebrating all the accomplishment that you had throughout the program.
Thanks, Lou. The one tidbit I would give y'all is as you're applying, please, please, please make sure that you can make these dates. Like look at your calendar. There is a question in the application process that will ask you about these dates. So if you have any scheduling conflicts, let us know as soon and as early as possible. Great. So who are we looking for? We're looking for Black, Indigenous, and people of color leaders who are focused on racial equity and social justice in our community. We are truly looking for folks who are trying to bridge the gap between the wealth disparity, the economic and oppressive disparities that are happening in our communities. And this happens in an umbrella of initiatives, right? We have actually listed out a whole bunch of what those programs may look like, but this goes anywhere from social justice. So anything that has to do with our communities not having equal access to racial justice. So things that are actually impacting your community specifically. And many of those times, because of who we are and what we represent, both of those are being addressed in our organizations. So application logistics. So here are just a few tidbits. For this, the application is the opportunity for you to share your story with us. You can do it in various ways. The one aspect that we're having that's new is we're having a video component where you can actually tell us your story via video. We've realized that throughout time, the application process is really put down a lot of focus on the written word. However, when it comes to Black, Indigenous, people of color, our folks are mostly storytellers. We really come alive when we speak, and especially when we speak to each other. I mean, historically, we've told our history to each other through story, through song, right? So we want to give you all the opportunity to do so as well throughout this application. So you will have the choice. There are guiding questions for you. And if you don't feel comfortable coming on video, if you don't feel like your speech is where you want it to be, if you just are feeling like you're going to get paralysis, we're also giving you the opportunity to write in your answers as well. And one thing we do want to say is we've removed all word count and word limit because truly we want you to be able to express yourself the best way possible and for us to get to know you too. You can find everything you need on our website. Luisana, can you please drop it in to the chat, please? When it comes to this, y'all, like everything, all of our hard work is there for you. On that website, you can find anything and everything that you need, from more information of what this program is, everything we've talked to up until this point, and even the questions to the application themselves can be found there. The application itself is only 30 questions. And we've thought about perhaps giving yourself 90 minutes to complete this application. That might sound like a long time, but if you submit video, you have the opportunity to submit one big video, two. And then if you are writing, you have the opportunity to write as much as you want. And therefore, we really want to give you ample time to do videos or write as much as you want. And for questions, 2 minutes per question should be fine. Choice of written or video response, as we said, and then the application window. Applications opened up on Monday, and you have until Sunday, July 18th at 11:59 p.m. And as Luisana said earlier, please don't leave this to the last minute. Please don't. I know I'm that type of person. Trust me, I thrive on procrastination. I really do. I really do. But this application, like, you don't want to be there at 11 p.m. on Sunday without even having looked at it once. So don't say I didn't warn you. Game recognizes game. Look at that application. Do yourself that favor, okay? Future you will thank you. So the application toolkit, y'all. So when you go on the website, you're gonna get access to our frequently asked questions document put together by Luisana the beast. It literally walks you through everything we've discussed so far, and even has questions we've gotten about the application process. Like someone asked us why video, right? So we really went into it. Why BIPOC? What is social justice? The answers to all of that and more can be found on that document. It's downloadable and it's available to you. And then we also created the application in a Google Doc and also a Word document for you. So if you're the type that wants to download, read it through yourself, type up your answers before you even go in there, which we highly suggest and recommend, you have access to it as a Word document or as a Google document. So feel free to use whichever one feels like it's speaking to you the most. Lou, application timeline.
So phase 1 is where we are right now. We're in the application window. It's open from June 28th, which is already open, and it closes on July 18th at 11:59. So as Leva was sharing, please do not leave it to the last minute. You want to give yourself time to build your application. So once application window is closed, we will review your applications. We will communicate with all applicants that at the end of July to share the result on the pre-selection process.
Thanks, Lou. So keep that in mind. So if you do make it to the next round, there's 3 rounds, right? If you make it to the next round, interviews are going to happen virtually or in person. You will have the option August 9th and August 10th at CIC Miami. So if you choose to go the virtual route, we will make all the Zoom logistics happen. And the folks running the interviews themselves will be Luisana and I, alongside coaches, facilitators, and other people throughout the network that are there. So it'll be about 2 to 3 people max at your interview, and it'll happen at CIC Miami. Once you go through that process, we're asking you to also keep on your calendars to find out the week of August 21st. So you will know no later than that week in August if you've made it into the program or not. Lou, phase 3?
For phase 3, so it's happening. We're gonna have Leadership Lab. So if you're selected into this year's cohort, your first engagement will be Saturday, August 28th, 2021. So we ask you to already reserve this date in your calendar.
Yes, so throughout all of this, you just wanna make sure you can make it, especially through this. This is very, very tight. But the reason is because we wanna celebrate the folks that get in on August 28th. So we just want to make sure that everybody can make it on the 28th, that you have the 9th and 10th on your schedule, and that you submit that app ASAP. So this is pretty much our walkthrough of the application process and many of the questions we've received up until this point. Please, 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 if you have any questions, if there's something that comes to your mind as you're washing the dishes later today, or as you're preparing the bottle for your son or daughter, please feel free to email us at any time. Me and Luisana's job is to ensure that every single person is supported throughout the entire application process. So feel free to reach out to us. Here are our emails. If you go on the website and you start looking at documents, my cell phone number is there. Feel free to text me, to WhatsApp me, send me a voice note, a smoke signal, whatever you need, in order to make sure that we can submit applications and we can process you alongside everyone else. So before we continue, Luisana, can you turn off our recording so we can have our